This court is now in session. We gather here today for a case of immense significance. The plaintiff, feminism, a movement that has fought for equality, challenged oppression, and demanded justice. The defendant, multimedia, a force that has shaped how we see the world. But has it been a champion for feminism or a silent oppressor? The question before us: has multimedia been an ally in the fight for gender equality, or has it violated feminism by reinforcing discrimination, bias, and inequality? Feminism, you may present your case.
Your Honor, members of the jury, the world is watching. We have long fought for our voices to be heard, our bodies to be respected, our stories to be told with truth. And yet even today, multimedia distorts, diminishes, and destroys our narratives. Today, we ask, has multimedia been a force of liberation, or has it shackled us further? We will present how media shapes gender perceptions, how each wave of feminism has battled against media biases, how different feminist schools of thought expose multimedia's role in oppression. We begin with evidence. I stand to call our first witness. Please state your name and expertise.
I am a researcher in gender and media studies. I've spent years analyzing how news, advertising, film, and digital platforms reinforce gender inequality.
Do tell us, how has multimedia violated feminism?
Let's break it down. Don Law's feminist media theory identifies three ways media has upheld sexism. Number one, the male gaze by Laura Mulvey. Films and advertisements show women as objects, not people. Number two, teenage femininity by Angela McCraby. Pop culture forces young women to conform to unrealistic beauty standards. And there's number three, mass-produced fantasies by Tanya Modlowski and Janice Radway. Romance movies tell women that love is all they need, not independence. Let's talk about some real cases, proof that media is not always their ally. Number one, there's the Victoria's Secret scandal from the 1990s to 2019. For decades, this company sold an impossible amount of beauty standard, making billions while making women feel less than. In 2019, under massive feminist backlash, they finally changed, but only because of their profit being threatened. Then there's number two, Fox News sexual harassment, 2016. Gretchen Carlson, Megyn Kelly, women in journalism being silenced, threatened, and harassed. It took a lawsuit, a war, really, for the truth to come out. And even then, many voices remained unheard.
Witness, we've heard your claims, but tell me, hasn't media also given feminism a megaphone? What about Misrepresentation 2011, a documentary exposing sexism in media? Barbie 2023, a blockbuster film showing a powerful female narrative. Would you ignore the fact that media has also helped feminism flourish?
Yes, media's created some feminist content, but let's not celebrate the crumb while the cake is still out of reach. These examples, they are the exception, not the norm. Take Barbie 2023 for example. It was a cultural phenomenon, but look at how media covered it. Instead of focusing on its feminist message or Greta Gerwig's historic achievement as the first solo female director to break the 1 billion box office mark, much of the discussion revolved around the backlash. Headlines amplified critics calling it too feminist or too anti-man. And misrepresentation. Yes, it exposed sexism in media. But did Hollywood really change? A decade later, Annenberg Inclusion Initiative found that only 31% of top-grossing films in 2022 had female leads. Yes, media has amplified feminism's voice, but it still picks and chooses when to listen.
Now tell us, how has each wave of feminism fought against media biases?
Let's start with the first wave. It was about suffrage, legal rights, and education. In the Philippines, Gabriela Silang led revolts against Spanish rule. Yet, colonial media erased her story and reduced her to a woman of a fallen hero. The second wave, reproductive rights, workplace rights, but where was the media? In the 1970s, Filipino factory workers were exploited in the textile industry. Media? Silent, focused on beauty pageants instead. Then came the third and fourth waves, and media finally was forced to change.
So you are implying that media only listened when feminists fought hard enough?
Exactly.
Media is not your enemy, it's a tool. Throughout history, media has been used to control narratives, spread ideologies, and shape how society perceives gender roles. But here's the truth: media itself is not inherently biased. It is a platform, and like any tool, it depends on who uses it and how. And if you control it, you can reshape the narrative. Consider liberal feminism. This school of thought believes that equality can be achieved by working within the existing system rather than dismantling it. Instead of rejecting media, liberal feminists seek to transform it from the inside. Liberal feminism does not reject media, it fights to change it. And the rise of women led newsrooms. Rappler the 19 media organizations, once controlled by men, are now seeing the rise of women led platforms that prioritize gender sensitive reporting. Rappler Philippines, founded by Maria Reza. Rappler is an independent news platform that challenges corruption, fake news, and misogyny in Philippine media. It has exposed issues like government attacks on women, gender based violence, and media oppression. These examples show that when women takes charge of media, the narrative changes. Media isn't just a mirror, it's a weapon. And like any weapon, who wields it matters.
This case is far from over. For centuries, multimedia has been both a tool of liberation and a weapon of oppression. It has given voices to the unheard, yet has also silenced those who dare to speak. It has empowered movements, yet it has fueled the very biases those movements fight against. And now, the verdict? It does not lie in the hands of one person, nor within the walls of this very courtroom. It belongs to society, to the people behind the scenes, the journalists, the editors, the directors, the programmers, the gatekeepers of media who decide what the world will see, to the people in front of the cameras and screens, the actors, the influencers, the content creators who have the power to redefine representation or reinforce harmful stereotypes, to the authorities, the lawmakers, the regulators, the leaders who choose whether media will be a platform for progress or a battleground of oppression. And most of all, to you, to every person who consumes media, who shares, who comments, who engages, you too hold the gavel. Your choices, what you watch, what you support, what you challenge, shape the media landscape. If multimedia continues to violate the rights of feminism, if it persists in distorting, diminishing, and destroying the truth, then let it be known. The people will rise, and when that day comes, serious consequences await. Until then, this court is adjourned.